YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I got a replay that is going to be really fun for y'all. This one's going to be Jarl and Wicked playing as the Empire and the Vampire Counts, and Happy Puppy and Sato playing as the Skaven and the Tomb Kings, and this is going to be an epic brawl on Galbraith with some extremely fun armies. And I know you guys are going to have fun watching this. I let this screen play so you can see a little bit of what's in the army compositions to help me get through it a little bit quicker. I'm going to kind of just hit stuff at a higher level. I may not literally hit every unit, but as far as leaders go for the Empire and the Vampires, we've got Isabella von Karstein leading the Vampire Counts, and she has her potion, her Chalice of Potions, or whatever it is called, that helps her heal really quickly. It's this Blood Chalice of Bathory, so she can do a ton of healing, but she's also brought the Gaze of Nagash, which can kind of help pick off different pieces of equipment or enemy heroes. And then Volkmar is going to be leading the charge for the Empire. And check him out here, hiding behind a greenskin monolith here. That is quite a feat for Balthasar to be hiding behind a greenskin construct. And no doubt hiding there with a Vargulf and a steam tank and a Mortis engine. So some really cool units here. Now, this is one thing I actually really love about this battle. Check out the Vampires. Really just a zombie line with some corpse cart support, but the corpse carts are supporting the Empire infantry. And I love this play here, like the Empire getting buffed by the corpse carts. There are some Mortis engines on the battlefield, or just the Mortis engine, I should say, here on the battlefield as well. And then there are some Blood Knights supporting several units of Empire Knights and an Outrider with grenade launcher. And then we've also got an Amber Wizard here, which has Flock of Doom and also the transformation of Chiton, so they can summon a Manticore. There are two White Kings here in the middle, as well as a Great Cannon. Now, on the other side with the Skaven and the Tomb Kings, I would have expected Artillery Armageddon, but that is actually not what we're going to see today. We're going to see a pretty good line of skeleton warriors here, coming from Archon the Black, who's leading the Tomb Kings, with just the one Casket of Souls. And he has brought some interesting support in the form of a Hierotitan, and he's also brought a Necrosphinx here, which is the Sphinx of Uskef and the Eyes of the Desert. So this is some very significant anti-large capability, as well as some very potent anti-basically anything with the Hierotitan. It's pretty good against a lot of things, as long as you can keep it from being shot to death from range. Now, as for the Skaven, Ikitclaw is leading Clan Scryer here, and then there's a Plague Priest that's got some nice breath spells and some lightning. He is supported by Blightscab's Plague Pack, and there are some cheaper units around it, but there are a couple of Rat Ogres. We've also got the Avalanche Mortars, and then the Teeth Breakers, and a Warp Grinder team here as well, which is a cool support unit that can kind of freeze enemies in place, and then several units of Plague Monks, which are very good against low armor, and I would say that this is a pretty good situation to be good against low armor when we're up against the Empire. And the Vampires, not all other units come with a lot of armor. The Casket's going to get some shots here on the cannon, and from range, a Casket's going to trade well with the cannon. The cannon can't really kill the Casket unless it goes all the way down, but the Casket can damage the cannon over time. But the Steam Tank is also going to be able to support this range fight, and it's moved out and begun doing just that, which should force the Tomb Kings and the Skaven to come all the way forward and present themselves to the enemy army. However, in melee, I really feel like the Skaven and the Tomb Kings have the edge here. They've got Plague Monks, and they've got the Blightscab's Plague Pack, they've got the Hierotitan, they've got the Necrosphinx, they've got some seriously powerful units. Look at this. Gaze of Nagash just ripping into Archon the Black from range. So Isabella making her wrath felt all the way from range here. And Archon the Black having to rethink his skeletal life right now, looking for some cover. Now the Empire is moving to the flank with a massive cavalry. They've got Empire Knights and their grenade launcher moving to this flank, and probably looking to just distract and occupy, and maybe get to some of the key units for the Tomb Kings and the Skaven. You see these grenade launchers just ripped off one quick shot and managed to deal some significant damage to one of the skeleton spears. Cheap unit, but still, it's a lot of damage. Look at the Vampires here, doing a good job. They're going to absorb the entire charge, and they're going to have their support units here just to make this take longer. We're going to see an epic clash here. Got the Plague Priest and Ikitclaw just going straight in with the Blightscab's Plague Pack, which should be absolutely owning zombies. I mean, what doesn't at that point? Look at Isabella here, unleashing another Gaze of Nagash, just shredding Archon from the skies. And speaking of shredding, the Teeth Breakers are doing just that over here to the Empire Cavalry, which has been slowed down significantly. And now the real big boys are going to get into a fight here. We got a Vargulf coming up against a Sphinx, and a Hierotitan who's going to hopefully use his laser eyes here in a minute to some cool effect. I love the laser eye animation on the Hierotitan. And this is a brutal clash of infantry, and the vampires are doing their best to hang on to this front line, but it is getting hit hard by the Tomb Kings and the Skaven. And fortunately for the vampires, they do have some White King support over here, and it's helping them hold the line. The Blood Knights are now kind of looking into the back lines. They're going to get a hold of the Teeth Breakers. You can see here the Plague Monks, the Rat Ogres, all being busied by the Bats and the Cavalry. Not going to be great back here long-term for the vampires and the Empire, but they're at least keeping these units out of the fight. Look at this, the Eyes of the Desert ripping up Isabella as far as revenge goes. You can see the Liber Mortis going off, Brass Orb, another Gaze of Nagash. Just brutal fight right here in the middle. Look at this banishment from Volkmar to top it all off. So Volkmar does kill some of his own vampiric troops, but these were mostly just zombies. Does crazy damage to the Blight Scab's Plague Pack and other units around. So Volkmar rips off about 200 kills really quickly there. But I mean, this Hierotitan and the Sphinx of Uskef are absolutely dominating the melee, and I mean dominating. And so in the middle right now, definitely favoring the Tomb Kings and Skaven, but the Vampires and Empire aren't out of it yet. They've got Ikit Claw hit with Blood Knights here, going after some of his summoned units. We've still got the Vargulf in here, taking some punches, trying to do some damage. He's a little bit out of his league here, though. Isabella did manage to heal up all the damage she took from the Eyes of the Desert, and she is doing her best to support this fight, but she is not really a melee unit to be able to hop down here. You can see the Eyes of the Desert not done with her yet. They're going to keep feeding it to her with the missile attacks. See, the Empire back here did get away with some of its knights. They did manage to mostly silence the Skaven back here in terms of ranged units, but there is still a considerable amount of melee units back here who are surviving. But look at this, the corpse carts really helping keep stuff in the fight for longer, and that's being very beneficial. These White Kings also coming in clutch here. They're just, look, they're getting a ton of kills. They have a bonus versus infantry. They are tanky, and it helps the leadership of units around them. Volkmar racking up kills. But again, the melee that's left here for the Tomb Kings and Skaven is significantly powerful. Archon's in bad shape, and we'll take a look at some of the other lords around here too. Yeah, Archon not in great shape. Here's the summoned Ushabti back here. Looks like it's fighting the Spearman. It looks like it probably got the cannon. The steam tank has been sitting back firing. Isabella decided to dive in for some combat here, which is probably ill-advised, but she may be able to get out of there depending on what kind of support she has, or she may just get literally knocked out of that fight here in a moment because she's such a small target, such a big brawl. Check this out over here, Volkmar bombarding. So Volkmar has been a real clutch for his team, but these Warp Lightning strikes into the Empire Knights, very well placed by the Skaven. And then the Tomb Kings, like I said, these guys just brought some serious heat to the melee, and there's not much left for the Empire to use to contend with them. See the Liber Mortis now being used by Archon, going to provide some protection. His troops, I'll pop that up where we can hopefully catch this. You can see there the effects of the Liber Mortis. This guy sits still, physical resistance for all. And that is a pretty significant impact. Some of the Poison Wind mortars, the Avalanche mortars, managed to survive. They're going to be charged by some regrouped Empire Knights. And boy, folks, we got a fight on our hands. Still split even down the middle as far as the power bar is concerned. Volkmar is going to unleash his second banishment here. Not as many enemy troops here to impact from this. In fact, some of their own troops ended up eating some of that. See these spearmen having to fall back for a moment. But Volkmar doing everything he can to cause some damage in this fight. The steam tank, of course, just sitting back and trying to use its cannon. It's got to kill a whole Hierotitan and a Sphinx of Uskef, though, and that is not going to be easy. There is a Necrotect here supporting as well. So again, not going to make things any easier for the Empire to take down those two big units. I do mean big units. Oh yeah, there's some of those laser eyes I've been waiting on. So we can catch some more of that. I love the laser eyes from the Hierotitan. It's got some sweet animations. Look at that Vargulf getting run over by a Plague Priest. Come on, do it. Do the laser eyes. Make air happy. I think it's one of my favorite animations that I've ever seen CA add to a game. I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but just do. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So the Empire does have a few spearmen left here that they're going to have to engage. You can see Ikit Claw tearing up some of these units. Look at this, a White King managing to get free and go after Ikit Claw. That fight ought to do very well for the White King. There are still some Rat Ogres back here. I'm assuming the Empire is looking to engage these spearmen here shortly. They're definitely going to need to in order to help protect Volkmar, who's just done a stellar job. He's got 301 kills. Look at this, Isabella von Karstein very near to death in the background, so she's going to have to play it safe. She can't heal anymore, but, you know, if she has any winds of magic, she could still be very useful here. Archon very close to death. He has managed to get a little damage done himself, so definitely in good shape. Sphinx of Uskef, though, and the Hyro Titan absolutely owning. Look at this. Isabella's going to take a quick shot at Ikit, and she gets a really good charge on him, and then hits him again from behind, but then she dies from a counterattack, and Ikit Claw survives, but routs from the damage done. So Isabella's sacrificing herself to take down Ikit Claw, and here goes Archon. He is also just on the cusp of re-dying here, and Volkmar is now really feeling the heat, as there's really not much left. You can see here, even though the White King's strong, just getting knocked around by the Plague Priest, and Volkmar is getting pushed all over the places too. Rat Ogres, not looking good for Volkmar. He is not this type of melee fighter. He does better in an infantry blob. But you can see that the Amber Wizard there providing some nice support late into the game with the Flock of Doom to try and pull down some hit points. The Empire Spearmen are having difficulty staying in the fight, and that is quite understandable given the set of circumstances in which they find themselves, which is fighting some very beastly creatures. There's a summon from Archon. Like I said, Archon is very near to death here. He's about 200 hit points. I would assume Volkmar is trying to kill him, but Volkmar is also dying. In fact, this is going to be the end of Volkmar right there. So he is out, and at this point the Skaven and the Tomb Kings pretty much have this. Ikit Claw managed to come back from routing. Look at this, though. If they're going to go down, they're taking the enemy leaders with them. So here comes the White King, looking to get a kill on Ikit Claw. Not wanting, again, the AI or the enemy team to be able to walk away with their leaders. I guess at this point it's just going to have to be about vengeance. You can see Ikit Claw now fleeing the battlefield after having a hurt put down on him by the White King. The Stank is really the only thing left here. And, I mean, it has better leadership than Rat Ogres, but the Rat Ogres do a lot of armor-piercing damage. Not really a fight a Stank wants to be in. And it looks like he's going for the vindictive kill on Ikit Claw. So the Steam Tank may just be attempting to get one degree of justice done here for its team before it inevitably goes down in a melee that it can't possibly handle at this point. But you can't, gotta love some of that running over the Rat Ogres there. Let's see what the Steam Tank's up to. Really, to me, looks like it's maneuvering to get a shot on Ikit Claw, who's now routing around behind this totem. Pile of dung. Yeah, that is a pile of dung on top of it. I love it. How many greenskins had to get up there and pinch off a loaf to put the hairdo on this totem? That is disgusting. Check it out here. The Steam Tank not giving up on Ikit Claw, being pursued by Rat Ogres, but Ikit Claw goes down. And now here comes Archon and his troops. You can see Archon, having seen what happened to Ikit Claw, maybe making his way over here to hide behind the crap pole over here, the totem pole of poo, the dung heap. That is crazy. I'm almost certain that this is a pile of greenskin feces on top of this. That is the only thing that makes sense, and that is just wonderfully disgusting. CA, thank you. The detail level is very appropriate. Yeah, look at Archon running behind the poo totem over here. And this tank is not going to last long in a melee with the Sphinx of Uskef or these other units that are here. You can see the Sphinx is very quickly looking to end this, and Archon's like, dude, please, come on. I barely survived this battle. Don't do this to me, Steam Tank. It does. Archon gets shot in the face, and now the Steam Tank can die knowing that it at least took the enemy leaders with it. Here comes another Skaven summon, just to make things worse for the tank. And I'll take the flags and stuff off here and let you all catch the end of this one in some cinematic glory. And what an epic fight this was. Appreciate Jarl and Wicked and Happy Puppy and Sat out here. This was a really fun match to watch. This is why I love these team battles in Warhammer 2. They're crazy, fun armies. Have a good time with friends. Get to watch the replays afterwards like this. It is just a good time for everybody. I love these kind of games, and appreciate all that Jarl and Wicked do for my Discord too. They support there. Happy Puppy has a channel over on Twitch. I don't know if Sato has any content creation. If it does, then please feel free to post it. But yeah, Happy Puppy runs a Twitch channel where I know that she does some Warhammer 2 multiplayer, probably among other things. I don't know if she does anything besides Warhammer, but she's got a fun Twitch channel there. I've watched some of it before, had a good time watching her. So let's take a look at Appius here. Obviously, really getting some work done with Volkmar. That was his clutch player here, and then I love the steam tank kills at the end. That was just pure perfection there, Appius, and then Wicked. This was a really cool vampire army to support the Empire. I love the corpse cards coming in with the cheap infantry, including that from the Empire, making them stand up for longer otherwise, trying to get your work done with the Blood Knights, and then some nice support from Isabella. She tore up Archon. I can't believe he was still alive. Managed to almost finish off Wicked. Icket Claw, thinking Wicked, Wicked Claw. And here we've got the White Kings as well that just did a really tremendous job. These guys are really cheap for what you get out of them in certain circumstances, so that was well done there. And then as for Sat out here with the Tomb Kings, hard to get stuff done with the casket because he got hit hard from range. These Sepulchral Stalkers shredded Isabella, and she has a lot of hit points, so that's saying something. Nice support with the Necrotech to help keep these guys up at health, and they just carried the work. And then, of course, Archon provides the physical resistance and the summons and the other stuff that helps these armies get by. But I'll tell you what, I mean, yeah, it was zombies, but still, look at some kills we got here out of the Skeleton Spears. You don't see that very often. So impressive nonetheless. But I love the combo Hyro Titan and Sphinx of Uskef. That is some crazy strong melee that you're going to run into there, and was a whole lot of fun to watch. Hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing off for now. Hey, if you did enjoy it, do me a huge favor. YouTube is not doing a good job of pushing my videos out to people these days, and one thing you can do to help me, if at this point you've watched the video and you said, hey, I liked that, go hit that like button. The more you hit the like button, the more it kind of forces YouTube to push this stuff out. So I really could use your support on that. If you are here and you aren't subscribed and you want to see more awesome battles like this, feel free, if you want to go hit the subscribe button, click the bell, and make sure you're notified the next time I get a video up. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all soon.